Tonight, Across the Fence, we're traveling to Spain, or more accurately, we're bringing a bit of Spanish cuisine to the Across the Fence kitchen, where we'll learn not only about the food, but also about the country and its culture. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. We have several recipes to share with you this afternoon, and they all have one thing in common. They are from Spain. The authentic Spanish cuisine comes courtesy of a Spaniard native who is a longtime professor at the University of Vermont. It is my pleasure to welcome UVM Spanish professor Tina Escaja, and alongside Tina is Ellen Alberston with the Vermont Dietetic Association. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, this is a really interesting story of how you two met, because she's a very good friend of yours.
Yes, she is. We are neighbors, and we have children who are the same age. And actually, one of our first experiences together, I was having a party at my home, and I was making tortilla, which Tina will be making today. And I was doing it all wrong. And she came into my kitchen, and she showed me how to do it, and we've been good friends ever since.
Well, she wasn't really doing it wrong. It's that she was following a recipe that I don't think is really authentic.
Authentic. Now, Tina, what part of Spain are you from?
I was born in the west part of Spain, Zamora, which is the Castilian area. We speak Castilian, Spanish Castilian there. But I grew up in Barcelona, in the Catalonia area. They speak Catalan. They have a different cuisine, etc.
And so what was it like growing up in Spain?
Well, it was very exciting, interesting. Actually, I grew up in a working class neighborhood, so probably my experiences have to do more with that element of immigrants coming from one section of Spain to the big city, Barcelona. So I grew up around these people, working class people, and speaking primarily Castilian, Espanol, Spanish. And cooking and with the flavors of my original area.
Okay. Well, I know the pan is hot now, so I'm going to turn it over to both of you. And I know you have several dishes you're going to prepare, so we'll watch.
Yes, and the first dish we're going to prepare is the tortilla, which you were wonderful to show me how to do it authentically. And what do we have in the fridge? We're going to probably put some oil, and you're using olive oil?
Only olive, of course. This is extra virgin now. But it's not really necessary to be extra virgin.
And a lot of olives are actually produced in Spain. People don't think about always, you know, the elements of Spanish cuisine. What are the key elements, the key ingredients that you use in Spanish cuisine?
Of course, olive oil, that's the main thing. Garlic, lots of garlic too. And we have parsley. I brought some parsley here. And actually you find this, the parsley, when you go to the markets, they give parsley to you. It's part of the gift for the people who buy in the markets. And well, we have several things like tomatoes. It's Mediterranean culture, so it's pretty much the same that you will find in France, Italy, and Portugal.
It's a very healthy diet.
Yes, and also lots of fish, where I believe Spain is the second country in the world after Japan consuming fish, lots of fish.
I have no idea. So when you're in Vermont, where do you go to get these ingredients?
Actually, at the beginning, when I first came to the United States, I was very, very worried about not finding anything, not being able to really cook what I want to from my country. But you adapt. You can actually find pretty much everything, even here in Burlington. So yes, you can create a paella, and I think it's good. So it's
I've had your paella. Now, the national dishes of Spain. And please go ahead and even want to start your tortilla. This is one of the national dishes of your country.
One thing I want to always clarify is that Spain is very diverse, so you have different dishes in every single area of Spain. The same with the languages, you have different languages and cultures. But this is a national dish. You can find tortilla de patata, Spanish omelette, everywhere in Spain. So what I did here, I did it previously, but it's very, very easy. You just fry the potatoes, you slide them thin, and I like very much olive oil, of course. So you fry them until they are tender. A little bit before they are done, I like to put some onions and red peppers, but that's my personal preference because I love the color. I love this is sweeter, it's more tender, so that's my preference.
And it's the colors of the Spanish flag. So you heated the olive oil. It looks like probably over medium-high heat.
Yes.
And it's eggs as well, and the potatoes. It's an interesting dish because so many countries have an omelette. I mean, it reminds me of the Italian frittata. So it's, of course, it looks like the Spanish flag.
Yes, absolutely. One thing I forgot to mention, while the potatoes are being fried until tender, you beat eggs. So, for example, in this, you have to think about how much you have. But in this case, it was like 5 small eggs. So you just beat them, and then when the potatoes are done, you transfer it with something like this. Of course, you want to avoid as much as possible the oil. You transfer it with the eggs and with the beaten eggs, and then they rest a little bit, and then you start making your tortilla.
I'm always encouraging people to have things that are quick, simple, and easy.
Absolutely.
Something that I've done is that I cook extra potatoes, so if I'm baking potatoes, and then if you want to cut down a little bit maybe on the oil for calories, you can easily just use potatoes or other leftovers that you have. So you cook that, and then what are you going to do after that?
I'm going to leave it a little bit. So the idea is that it's going to be a little more a little brown, because you want the color too. So while this is being made, it takes it's only a minute, but since we have here the salad, maybe we can start doing the salad, and eventually when this will be like in 1 minute, I will turn it. Okay.
So tell a little bit while you're making the salad, how do they eat in Spain? So it's not sort of the traditional, and we think of America as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's the main meal is the middle of the day.
Yes, the breakfast is very simple. It's too simple. It's really a problem, because we only have coffee or a latte and with a croissant or something very simple. But then your big meal is for lunch. But before lunch, and everybody takes it very seriously. Food is so important for the Spanish culture. When we get together, Spanish people, we eat a lot and we talk about food while we eat. It's really important food, right? I mean, my mother always says the first thing, "Are you eating well?" That's the main thing, right?
So many cultures have that as something that knits them together. So now the salad you have, it looks like you've got romaine lettuce here. Now would this be something that you would use the similar lettuce in Spain?
Yes, it will be pretty much the same, maybe a little bit smaller, but because they're very big. But this is a favorite for my mother. She loves
help you
this. Yes, you can do it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's very easy.
It's very simple. I love finger food, so I think this is messy but wonderful. So what I was saying is that everything stops. People go to work like at 9, and usually it's from 9 to 8, which means that they have time in the middle of the day to go home and to eat with their families. And the same for the kids. They stop school, they come back.
And still traditionally, do people do that, or are they adapted more to?
This is absolutely important. Still people do that. So, and before you go home to eat lunch, you go and stop a little bit with your friends, perhaps, to eat some tapas, which will be like appetizers. Okay. So that's the tapa tradition. You first go to the bars a little bit after work, and then you eat your tapa with a little tiny bit of wine, perhaps, or a little bit of just tiny quantities, just for each tapa.
So it's very different. A lot of people, I think that Spanish food is like Latin American food, and you have a great story about how when you were staying with a native family when you were in your undergraduate years, and I think you said Idaho?
No, it was Indiana.
Indiana, sorry, somewhere in the Midwest.
Okay.
And they made you a burrito? I think it was Spanish food.
Well, I have lots of anecdotes, and one of them was my first one. I was very confused because I went to Indiana. My host family said, "We want to do something for you, for your family. I mean, no, for your traditions. So we made a burrito for you." And I said, I had no idea what was a burrito. And burrito is the diminutive of burro, which means donkey. So, well, I eat everything, so I don't mind. But definitely, I couldn't recognize that as my tradition. But I was intrigued. So I said, okay, so it must be a little donkey. And when they brought me the burrito, I never saw that in my life, and I couldn't really tell them. They couldn't really understand why I didn't know about this, because of course I'm from Spain.
Right. So the food is much more like Italy. Now you're going to.
I'm going to turn it. So what we do is we're going to take a plate that is slightly smaller. It should be a little bit bigger, but that's what
this is the part that I can't do.
Okay, and then you turn it.
1, 2, there we go. Whoa.
Oh, sorry.
The joys of live TV. So do you need to put it back on the burner?
Yes, I do actually. So maybe we should clean it a little bit.
I will take care of that.
Okay, so sorry about that.
There we go.
The reason is because it should be a little bit, it's not exactly the right size, so that's why I created the burn. So it should be really,
that is gorgeous. See, mine just sort of, I need to get more lessons from you. Mine just fell apart. But this would be a lovely dish to do for a brunch or a quick dinner. And I think what I love about what you're cooking is that nothing is processed, but yet it's quick, simple, and easy. I mean, it is all food from scratch. And you could, we were saying earlier, do this ahead of time, so you could you pre-cooked the potatoes and had everything ready. So when you came home, all you would have to do is make a salad and cook this up. And this is something I know my family would love this.
Yeah, and it's delicious. The kids love this. And I like the color. It's fantastic. It's great for a party too. So what I did is just to slide the other part, so it will be a little bit brown again, and this time will be fine. So
it's also good cold, so you could have that as a cold dish for lunch. And what other ingredients could you incorporate in there?
People have a lot of imagination. The basic is always only potatoes and eggs. That's the basic. Some people put onions like me, which is also something that people do. But I like the three red peppers.
Right.
But also, some people put chorizo, but then it's too heavy. You can just pieces of chorizo, but this is the
But
most
that in a
typical
salad
thing.
would be lovely, and certainly if you went to the market and got fresh eggs from the farmer's market, it would be fantastic.
Yes.
And you didn't put garlic, and I wanted to encourage people. Garlic is such a wonderful ingredient, and of course it's one of the key ingredients in Spanish cuisine.
Yes,
and
I use it all the time.
it helps lower cholesterol. It actually is an antibiotic, and I love for Vermont, it actually helps repel bugs. So if you're having a mosquito problem, you can certainly consume some garlic, and it will actually get into your pores and keep the little critters away. And now you have one. Was the salad done?
The salad is done. We are going to dress it, and this is the typical Spanish way of dressing. Well, I'm using sea salt, but it could be any salt. So we do this all the time. It's just basic: salt, vinegar, and olive oil. Okay, so I will put.
So you put the vinegar on first? Any particular kind of vinegar?
Usually,
it's like wine vinegar?
This is wine vinegar, of course. It's always we don't have that many. Now it's starting this fashion of having different kinds, but usually it's just wine.
So you probably want to do the vinegar first so that it adheres to the lettuce, because if you did the olive oil first, then you wouldn't be able to, you would not get that nice depth of flavor.
True. Actually, this is something I like to do this way, but my mother doesn't do it that way. She makes it first the olive oil, then the vinegar, and then the salt. So
and of course, olive oil is a great fat to use. It's very high in monounsaturated fats, good for your heart. So it's again, Mediterranean cuisine, lovely for your health.
Okay, I'm going to do this here just to avoid any
over
problems.
the sink. And I will turn this off here.
Yes, so we don't have this problem.
Do you need a plate?
I have it.
You're all set. All right, there you go.
So now, since this is
gorgeous.
a nice tortilla, I'm going to put it in a nice plate. Okay.
Oh, fabulous. And the last dish that you were making?
Yes. One thing I didn't do in the, I'm going to get that, please. Okay, that's it. What I didn't do, let me put this a little nicer, is that since I'm from Castilla, and we love red pepper, but always sweet, never hot. This is also a misperception about Spain. We don't like hot
You don't
stuff.
like hot food?
No, only occasionally, but not normal. I will do this. This is a Castilian thing.
That's gorgeous.
Everything is red in Castilla. And the name for Castilla is, of course, there are lots of castles. That's why it's Castilla, Castillo.
Okay, and the final dish that we're making here.
Okay, this is going
we have about
to be...
a couple minutes left here.
Oh, okay. So let me see. Okay, so if it's a
you're
couple of
taking
minutes,
chicken?
I'm going to do this one, which is a little bit different.
And this is something that you actually did when you were working in markets.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take off this...
You can remove the thigh, or most of the thigh.
No, not the thigh, just the bone.
Okay.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this off too. I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to take off the
Taking out the bone.
Okay. I have a couple of things for this, but this is very nice. I'm going to
works
do this
well.
one. Yeah.
So that was just, you've taken chicken and done that, okay.
Okay.
And then what are you actually going to be stuffing it with?
I'm going to put these things here. You can describe them. It's
Can
like,
I help you? Okay, so you've got
prunes.
You've got prunes, you've got bacon, you've got pine nuts, and you've got raisins. And then we also have, looks like like a provolone cheese or mozzarella.
That's a regular cheese, any cheese that you can find.
And then ham.
Yes, but I'm going to do this particular one with only these ingredients, and only if we have time we can do the other one.
Okay, so you're going to use these ingredients here. So you could do either ones, okay.
Yeah. And a knife, a big knife. I had a huge knife.
See if we can.
Using one of the. In the meantime, I'm going to use this.
Okay.
You'll see why. Yeah.
All right, so we have to actually. So let's do the stuffing of it. So you're going to put these in here.
Do I have the knife, the big one?
No. I'll grab the big knife. Let Judy here.
We should mention while you're finishing stuffing your chicken, if people are interested in finding these recipes, you can get them on the website for the Vermont Dietetic Association. That address is eatrightvermont.org. That's eatrightvermont.org, and you can get these Spanish recipes that just absolutely look delicious.
Okay, so I'm finished this. I'm just going to use some bacon.
Fantastic.
So we only have a moment here, so I'm going to show the finished product because I don't know if we'll...
look at
Yeah,
those.
we should take this off and cut it in pieces.
Okay.
It's
So we
only
can
if you,
sample them.
All right,
you
let me
have
see
the
if I
time.
can grab the knife here. Excuse me. See if I
Yeah.
can... I'm going to
So we'll put some pine and some raisins and some prunes, and then
Now, will you bake this or will you fry it or?
this one bake it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to do something different with the fry, but we don't have the time. Maybe
Well, while we
next
finish
time.
up, I want to thank you all for joining us on Across the Fence. It's wonderful to try new recipes.
And should we cut into this?
Yes.
Let's cut and try it.
All right.
Let's see you again next time on Across the Fence.
For a video copy of today's program, call toll-free 1-888-ATF-3430. Across the Fence is brought to you as a public service by University of Vermont Extension and WCAX-TV.